Hey, it's Emily with Miss Anita's Crafts, and it is summertime, so I have been making so many of these cute little crocheted finger puppets, and today I want to make the three little pigs. We are going to start with some pink yarn. I always buy the yarn from Hobby Lobby. I like the Love This Yarn brand, and this is my favorite hook right here. When I make my little finger puppets, I always use a size H. That's a 5mm. We're going to start by making a magic ring. So I have done these before on some of my crochet videos, but I will show you again. We're going to start by basically crocheting 6 single crochets around this ring that we make. So it's going to be a circle, and in the end it works kind of like a drawstring where we can cinch it all together by pulling on the tail. And here's how it looks before we cinch it. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stitches. They look like little V's. That's how you know those are your stitches. Keep your hook in place so you don't lose that slip stitch, and then pull your tail so that it brings all of your stitches around, and that creates the tight little ring that we call the magic ring. And we're going to build everything around this. I'm using this little yellow string. It's about 8 inches long. That will be my stitch marker, so that way I know every time I've made a round, I'll just keep moving it over. Now to get this started, we're going to do what's called an increase in each of these 6 stitches that we've just done. So basically that means we're doing 2 single crochets into each of those stitches. First one is a little tight, so you're going to have some trouble getting your hook in there, but after that it gets easy. So we'll do 1 single crochet and then another single crochet in that same loop. Moving over to the next stitch, we'll go ahead and do that into all of them. So instead of having 6 stitches this time around, once we get to our stitch marker, we're going to have 12 stitches because we're doubling it. Now I have not yet moved my stitch marker over, but let's go ahead and count and see that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now we can move our stitch marker over and start our next round. For this round, we are going to do 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to do an increase. So that would be a single crochet into 1, and the next stitch over we're going to do 2 single crochets. In the end, we should end up with 18 stitches. Once we've made it full circle around, we can count our stitches, make sure that we have 18 of them, and then move our stitch marker over and put our hook back into that last loop. For the next many rows, we are just going to do single crochets into every one of these stitches, and we're going to keep going around and let this build up until we can lay it flat, and it's going to need to be about 4 inches long. At this point, you don't even need the stitch marker, so you can pull it out or leave it there, but you really don't need to keep moving it around because we aren't counting rows. We really just want it to reach a certain length, and that's how we'll know it's going to be the right size for a perfect little finger puppet. So I've done about 4 rows, and this is how it starts to look as you build it up. So you can tell what it's doing. We're giving it some length, but we're going to need to keep going because this is not yet 4 inches. This is only about 1/4 of the way, so we're going to keep going. Now several more rows have been added. Let's go ahead and lay it down here and see how it measures up. So we've got a little more than 2 inches here. We're going to keep going until we reach right about here. That's the goal. Now let's lay it down again and see where we're at, because this feels about right. And that is just about at 4 inches. So now we're going to start to do just what we did in the beginning. We're going to undo it. We're going to start to decrease and close this up. So just like in the beginning, we had that round where we did a single crochet and then a increase where we did 2 single crochets into the same stitch. But this time we're going to do every other stitch will be a decrease. We're going to do a round where we're going to do a single crochet, and then the next stitch over we're going to bring 2 stitches together, so that in the end this row is going to have only 12 stitches. Well, let's put our stitch marker back because now it is important and necessary to have it. We'll start this round by going into the first stitch. Just do a single crochet. Don't let that stitch marker get in your way. And then the next stitches, we're going to be bringing 2 together. So here's what we do. Put your hook into the stitch. You're going to grab the yarn, pull it through, take a look at your hook and see how many loops you have on there. You have 2 right now. But before you pull those off, which is what we normally do for a single crochet, you're going to take your hook again and go ahead and slip into the next stitch over, pull this yarn through again, and now you should have 3 loops on your hook. Okay, and now you're ready to pull all 3 of those off of your hook. Pull it nice and tight. That's what I like to do to make sure this is starting to close up a bit. And now it looks like we've only done 2 stitches, but we've actually gone into 3 stitches. We're going to keep doing that all the way around. Make sure you alternate. So the next one is a single crochet into that stitch, but the next one over we're going to bring 2 together. So go ahead and go in, grab your yarn. You have 2 loops now. Go into the next, grab your yarn again. You have 3 loops. Hook it and pull all 3 of those loops off at one time. Go ahead and alternate again because the next one needs to be a single crochet and then a decrease until you meet back at your stitch marker. And we can already tell it is starting to close up nicely. We now have only 12 stitches around instead of 18 because we're decreasing. And for this round, we're going to go all the way around doing a decreased stitch in all of these stitches. So we're not alternating, we're pulling 2 stitches together, and then we're pulling 2 more stitches together, and we're going to do that a total of 6 times until we've made it all the way back to our stitch marker. And you probably guessed that this round is going to end with only 6 stitches that we can count rather than 12 because we are decreasing, we're cutting them in half. Move your stitch marker over, put your hook in the loop, and go ahead and start your 6 decrease stitches all the way around. So at this point it should be totally closed up. We're going to cut off our yarn, give ourselves enough of a tail to work with. Okay, so a few inches there. And then we're just going to do a slip stitch to pull this through and knot our end, just like that. So we have something to work with. And now we're going to do sort of a flipping inside out so we can create the pocket for the finger puppet. So we're going to go right here where we started. We're just going to sort of force our hook right into the end. That's the magic ring where we started. I'm going right into the middle. I'm going to feel around and poke my hook out of the other end. I'm going to grab this tail and pull it out of the center of the magic ring. I'm going to pull that string all the way through and kind of help it along, but we're trying to create almost like a bell shape, and this is going to be the body of our little piggy finger puppet. So as I pull this string, I'm also going to be putting a finger inside the pocket and just sort of helping it along, get that wrinkle out of there and smooth it out so that it's comfortable when you put it on your finger. And then these little strings at the top, we can actually just cut them off if we want to give them a quick little knot first. That way the strings don't come undone. We can do that. And that's going to be where the head will be attached, which is what we're going to work on next. For the head, we're going to start with another magic ring, so you already know what to do. We'll do 6 stitches around. First, we need to attach our string here and get our hook in place. So we'll do that by just making 1 little slip stitch, and we'll do our 6 single crochets all the way around. And here is our cute little ring. Make sure you have 6 stitches. And this is going to sound very familiar. We're going to struggle at first to get our hook into that very first stitch, but once we get it through, we're going to make sure we do an increase in all 6 of those stitches. So the next round is going to have 12 stitches instead of 6. And I tend to get distracted while I'm counting my stitches, so after each round I always like to count them, make sure I have the 12 that I need, move my stitch marker over, put my hook back in place, and again, just like we did on the body of the piggy, we're going to go around where we do 1 single crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to do 2 single crochets, so we do our increase. Every other stitch is an increase, and that makes this round end with a total of 18 stitches instead of 12. So that is 1. The next one we're going to do 2 and 3. And then we'll go to the next one, which is 4. This next stitch gets 5 and 6. And we'll just keep going around until we reach our stitch marker. Now we're going to need to do 3 rows of single crochets. no increase, no decrease, just 3 rows of single crochets. And do keep your stitch marker in place because we want to be counting them as we go. We're not reaching a certain length for this one. We know we're going to need 3 rounds because we're creating a ball for the head, and 3 rows in the middle is just what you need to make a ball this size. So we'll do 1 row, move our stitch marker over, do another row, move our stitch marker over, and do a 3rd row and move our stitch marker over. And now that we have a shape that looks kind of like this, we need to close up the ball. So we're going to go back to that original round that we did. We're going to undo it. So we need to do the opposite. We're going to go around, and while right now we have 18 stitches that go around in a circle, we are going to decrease this down to 12. So that means that 1 stitch is going to be a single crochet, and the next 2 stitches over we're going to bring together. It's called a decrease, just like we did on the body. And we'll do that alternating every other one. So a single crochet, and then a decrease, and then a single crochet, and then a decrease, all the way around until we meet that stitch marker. This is our decrease. Remember to go into both of those stitches. Have those 3 loops on your hook before you grab your yarn and pull through. A single crochet on this one, and then a decrease on the next one, and keep going around. Here's what it looks like after that round. We now only have 12 stitches going around. It's starting to close up, but we need to close it all the way. So we'll move our stitch marker over, and we're going to decrease back down to 6 stitches. So put your hook back into the loop, and every one of these is going to be a decrease. So we're going to do 6 decreases all the way around. Bring 2 together, bring the next 2 together, the next 2 together, and so on until you meet the stitch marker at the end. I've done a couple of decrease stitches, but I've actually paused for a moment so that I can stuff the ball with some polyfill. I like to gather up all the strings and my hook and just hold them back so they don't get in the way of the opening. And then I pinch off just little pieces at a time and push it in the hole with my thumbs. Just do a little bit at a time so that it doesn't come out lumpy and bumpy. This way it'll be in there evenly and sort of spread out the way you want it to. And stuff it till it reaches the desired firmness, whatever you prefer. After you're happy with the amount of polyfill that you have in the ball, you can continue decreasing until you reach that stitch marker, and then we'll go ahead and pull it out, cut off our yarn, and we can work on the next step. So I've made it all the way around. I am cutting off my yarn, and again I always like to give myself about 6 inches of string to work with before I do my slip stitch so that nothing comes undone. I like to shape the ball a little bit with my fingers, just squeeze it and make sure it's nice and round. Now I'm going to take the top tail. This is our original tail that we started with. I'm going to use a plastic tapestry needle, go right into the center of the magic ring and pull it out to the end. This way I have both of my ends together. I can knot them and then cut them off. Now they'll be ready to glue onto the body when I'm ready to assemble the piggy. Now I need to make a tail. This is a lot simpler. We're going to do a simple slip knot. Just make a loop, put your hook inside. I like to pull it tight, and let's chain about 20, and this is what we're going to build our tail on. So I'm just doing a simple chain, and once I've reached about 20, I'm going to start to go back down the chain by doing single crochets into each stitch. And I like to do my stitches nice and tight because they're actually going to curl up as I crochet, and it's going to make a cute little piggy tail. So we'll have a natural little curling shape to this without having to do anything special. Now, see how cute that is? It just curls up naturally and we don't have to do anything at all to get that look. So let's cut our yarn, and then we'll do a slip stitch so that we can knot off the end. And of course, because I have my 2 ends together, I always like to do a little extra knot to make sure it's very secure and nothing's going to come undone. So let's double knot that and set that aside. I promise we're almost done. We're going to make a snout. Let's do a magic ring, but this time instead of doing 6 stitches around, we're going to do 4 stitches around. What this is going to do is actually create a smaller ball for us to work with, and it's going to make a really perfect looking snout. And now we have the tiniest little magic ring ever. It's going to be difficult to get into that first stitch, but we're going to do it. We're going to do a decrease into each one of these stitches. 4 on a magic ring is the smallest I have ever worked with. I don't think I'd want to work with anything that has less. At this point, because we're working with such small numbers, you really don't need a stitch marker unless you're getting distracted like me. But we are going to go around and we're going to do a single crochet into each one of these stitches. Because we have 8 stitches, it's going to be 8 all the way around. So just keep track of those and you'll be in good shape. Now it's so small you can barely tell what I'm doing, but after those 8 single crochets, I'm going to go around and do 4 sets of decrease stitches. So we're going to bring 2 together, and then we'll bring 2 more together, 2 more together, and 2 more together to decrease this all the way around. We don't need to stuff it with polyfill. It's just going to be so small that it will actually have a little bit of puffiness on its own, and then we'll just cut off the extra yarn, tie the tails together, and then do the next part of the snout. I'm using a small piece of black yarn and my plastic needle to do 2 little nose holes on the snout. So all I do is make sure that my 2 tails are hanging out of the back of this, so that way I can double knot them together lightly, because you don't want to lose your stitches. If you pull them too tight, they might disappear in there. And then I can trim off the excess yarn, and this will just get hot glued onto the head when we're ready to assemble. Sticking with the soft plushy theme, we're going to use a couple different shades of pink felt to cut some triangle ears. I'll do bigger triangles on the light pink, and then the dark pink will make tiny triangles to go inside the ears as the little inner ear color. These will get hot glued. You won't do anything too fancy with these. I guess you could stitch them on if you really want to, but we're going to do something quick with the hot glue, so that will be done when we go to assemble. And I didn't want to bore you with the process of hot gluing, but I have all 3 piggies done, and they are so cute. I love their tails. They don't have arms or legs, but they really don't need any. I gave them little plastic eyes that are also hot glued on there, just from a little kit with doll eyes, and their little tails are my favorite part. They look so cute together. I put a little bit of hot glue on the tips of their ears to kind of curl them down a little bit so they look like they were folding over, and I really love these guys.